So we are, Isabel. When we come back, a little political asylum exclusive. We have received via a Freedom of Information request the amount of money that Manchester City Council is spending on interpreters and translations to deal with residents there in that great city who don't speak English. It's a lot. Stay tuned to find out.
Your side. This is Talk.
Welcome back. I'm still with Isabel Oakeshott, Talk's international editor. Now, all this talk of national government mismanagement, it's just not fair on the local government because they are mismanaging local areas like there's no tomorrow. Let's talk about Manchester City Council. Remember, folks, this is just a snapshot of one part of Britain. And all over the country, because of these asylum seekers, these foreigners who are saturating the country, local councils, all local authorities, they have to spend, and the NHS and various other organisations, they have to spend fortunes on translators and interpreters, translations, you know, their printouts and all that. So we've got a Freedom of Information request to Manchester City Council. Asking them how much they're spending. So we went back to 2021. I'll run through it. From 2020 to 21, on interpreters and translations, £23,467. The following year, 21-22, £53,732. 22-23, £78,243. Notice how it's going up? Well, funny enough, 23-24 is a slight dip, went down to £64,410, but last year, wait a minute, back up to speed, £119,393. That means over the past 5 years, they've spent £340,000 of council taxpayers' money on interpreters and translations. Now, there are 8,160 approximately asylum seekers in Manchester. As of December 24, across the country, there were effectively 125,000, 124,802, so 125 asylum seekers around the country. So if you take this £340,000 and you extrapolate it across the country, it means that we're spending nearly £2 million a year interpreting and translating for people who live here who can't speak English. Now, again, I can think of better ways of spending British citizens' money, and I think this is the kind of expenditure that makes people furious. Your thoughts?
My thoughts are it's all got to stop. It's not the job of the British taxpayer to provide translation services for people who are coming here from overseas to use the public services that the British taxpayer also funds. If you come from overseas and you want to interact with our public sector and you want to take advantage of public services, then the very least you can do is find a way to communicate in our language. Now, whether that's you yourself learning how to speak English, or whether it's at your own expense bringing a friend along with you that can speak English. I mean, this stuff isn't that difficult, is it? You know, English is pretty widely spoken all over the world, so there's always going to be someone that you can recruit to your cause. It really shouldn't be our problem how you do that. In no way, you know, I'm talking to you now from North Africa. If I had to take one of my children to hospital in North Africa, I would not expect them to provide me a translator. I would expect that I would have to use my wits to find a way to communicate. And I don't understand why we've got ourselves into a position where we think it is on the British taxpayer to provide that service also.
It's ridiculous. I'm worried about local councils. You know, the Dolge scheme, or the campaign by Reform UK to go into the councils that they won, what's it called, the Department of Local Government Efficiency, to try and find out where they're spending their money, and they're uncovering these extraordinary extravagances spent on asylum seekers and their kids. Ridiculous amounts of money, for trampoline lessons and video games and God knows what, driving lessons, you name it. I live in the Camden Council area of North London. I suspect Camden, I don't really look into these things much, but I suspect Camden Council is probably a left-wing council. I got this letter today, right, saying, would I like to, I can apply if I like to join a panel of citizens, and our job, and we'll get paid for this. I mean, I'm probably not going to do this. If I do it, I'll do it as a wrecking ball to ruin the whole scheme. No, seriously, they've got, the Camden Council apparently got a £30 million diversity fund. And they want a panel of citizens to sit there and work out how we can give £2 million a year to diverse businesses, to businesses that are diverse. And I'm thinking, what does that mean for a kick-off? And what about white people trying to, white British citizens trying to run businesses? Don't they count? What's wrong with them? And did anybody in Camden vote for this? Oh, by the way, we'll take 30 million quid's worth of your money and we'll spend it on some sort of virtue signalling claptrap about diverse businesses. But I think this nonsense, as Zia Yusuf is discovering as he goes into these local councils, is going on all over the country. Who voted for the £30 million diverse business fund in Camden? No one, I don't think. It's worrying, isn't it?
And why can't they just use that allocation of money, if they're so overflowing with resources, to reduce council taxpayers' bills? That's a way of spreading the love, isn't it? That way they can, I'm sure, hit all sorts of businesses, diverse and otherwise. If you make a whole load of households slightly better off, those households can go and choose to spend their money at their discretion in businesses that are diverse or otherwise. At this rate, anyway, parts of London, it's going to be that white people are going to end up being the beneficiaries of diversity schemes because they're rapidly falling into a minority in some areas.
Yeah, the kind of businesses that the diverse Camden scheme give money. It'll be like puppet makers for children's theatre and things like that. By the way, we did reach out to Manchester City Council to ask them about this translation expenditure, and I was about to say they haven't responded. We asked them ages ago. Well, they've just responded, so bear with me. It's quite a long message. I'm going to read it out. Some of it I think you'll be quite amused by. Here we are. Spokesperson for Manchester City Council in response to our story about their expenditure on translating and interpreters. This is it. Manchester is one of the most vibrant and diverse cities in the UK outside of London, with an estimated 200 languages spoken by our residents, including the British Sign Language and other non-verbal forms of language support services. Thanks for that. Our translation service carries out vital work, not only for the council, but for a range of external commercial partners. This means the service generates enough to both cover its own costs, and generate revenue for the council. We strongly believe that our policies and messages should be heard by everyone who calls this city home, and we remain committed to ensuring that everyone in Manchester has the chance to contribute to its enduring success and growth. The council has no plan. We asked them if they had any plans to reduce this vast expenditure. They said the council has no plan to reduce or diminish what is a vitally important service for our residents and external partners. So there you are, folks. If you live in Manchester and you're that kind of rare species, a British citizen, who's lived here all their life. The Manchester Council think you should fund translators for people speaking 200 languages and not being able to speak your language, as in English. They think this is good, Isabel.
Can I offer my own translation?
Yes, please.
Of listeners as to what that long load of absolute twaddle actually means. My translation is, they just don't get it.
They don't, do they?
They don't get it. And they're also trying to say, you know, one of those sentences there, they were basically trying to say it makes a profit. They're saying it generates revenue.
Rubbish.
What are you talking about, isn't it? I think you might have to look at that again, but I think they did seem to be saying that this thing...
No, they did. They said that this makes money. So I think we might get back in touch with them and say, could you delineate exactly how all these translators
their
make
job
money? Yeah.
to run translation businesses, is it? Their job is to serve communities, providing the...
Are we still there? Have we lost her now? After all that? Hang on. Well, we've still got a few minutes. Can we see if we can get her back? Let's read some messages. By the way, after, well, probably, you know what, we can park Isabel, as it were, because there's not much point in getting her back now. We've only got 2 minutes to go. Oh, is she? Are you back? Are you back? Hello? Yes?
I'm very briefly back.
Oh, excellent. I was about to sort of say farewell to you in absence. But, you know, going back to this thing, so telling you about my council, Camden, oh, you know, the diverse business is £30 million. And this is what I'm talking about. These councils are staffed, populated by people that are just sort of, you know, Be Kind, Guardian reading, you know, United Colours of Mankind type people who just take our money and think it's fine to spend it like this. And that's really worrying. They're not being efficient with our money. They think that the way to spend our money is to sort of give it to migrants, give it, you know, give them driving lessons, give them trampoline lessons, give them trips to the zoo, give them videos and so on and so forth. That isn't the way they should be spending their money. And as you pointed out, Isabel, the worrying thing about this is they don't get it. They think they're doing the right thing. They're not.
And I just wonder, what will it take for them to understand that most people don't want this? You know, I don't know what it takes to hammer home that message, because these decision makers are so absolutely convinced of their own rightness in all of this, and you know, they've grown very used to their comfortable spot on their high horse, and there's no getting off that high horse. I don't think, you know, they're trotting away into the sunlit uplands, forgetting everybody that they leave in their wake.
It's the same with Ben Wallace and to a lesser extent Michael Gove, the government there. The guiding sort of dictate, the ethos of both national and local government seems to be kind. You know, okay, I want, you know, everybody likes to be kind if possible, but government is difficult. And if the only criterion you're working under is be kind, trust me, you won't be doing it properly. You have to be tough. These councils aren't being tough. Our national government isn't being tough, because it's all about signalling your virtue. Or didn't we do the right thing? It was a nice thing to do. You know, they're human beings. Well, every time they make one of these human being decisions, the human beings who live in Britain tend to suffer. We are being subjugated by this be kind to foreigners philosophy. Yeah. It's really worrying.
I couldn't agree more. I think the whole Be Kind philosophy has been probably the single most corrosive kind of ideology that does the precise opposite of what it pretends to do. Being kind is so often not being kind, and we could give 1,000 examples, whether that's allowing confused children, girls who think they're boys, to cut off their bits of their body. You know, that's not kind. We can come up with many examples.
You're right. I tell you what, Country's going to a hell in a handcart, but we will talk again soon, Isabel. Enjoy your stay in North Africa, and we'll talk next week. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. The brilliant Isabel Oakeshott there, Talks International Editor. When we come back, we're going to talk about Epping and the protests that have been going on about their asylum seeker hotel.
Oh, yeah!
Don't miss that. Stay tuned.